Hello. Welcome to the Drunken Brainwave. I'm Lee Wilcox. Oh, he's on mute.
Oh, I don't believe it.
That is the best intro.
That is embarrassing. I thought I was purposely muted because of the intro, but then realised I wasn't. So I apologise. Listen, guys, that's just normal. That's normal nowadays. You're on mute. So what? Let's move on. I'm Adam Barrie. Run the VT.
Really nice. Belter that was. Welcome back, everyone. We're episode 7. Is that right, Jamie?
7, yeah. I wasn't here last week.
Yeah, you weren't here last week. Missed one, didn't you? How are you feeling, mate?
So much better. It's horrible. I know Adam can say this. It's horrible, but we've got a fight on.
I'm the only one of the trio not to have it yet. I'm touching wood, by the way, right now. Do you think it's the podcast's fault you caught it through the podcast?
No, but the mate who gave it me, I've every time someone like one of our football team gets it, I'm like, it's Cooney's fault. He's giving it to everyone. But no, podcast is great.
Yeah, so you're back in the mix. So it's 2 out of 3 with the Rona. I'm obviously going to get it at some point, so we'll make it a trio.
Yeah, I'll tell you what though, Lee. Beck's done a great job last week.
Really good. Really good.
That good that it kind of made me want to run again, Jamie.
Oh, wow.
She was really good. She was really good.
She was very good, but you know.
So welcome back to anyone who's watching. We are in at number 7, but we're going to be making some changes to the poddy. So we won't be live at this time. We won't be live on Facebook and LinkedIn. We will only be live on YouTube. We're going to switch up the format a bit. We feel like we're like caught between two beautiful things here, which is like a sort of live show and a live podcast. And given the circumstances we're in with regards lockdown or being remote and all that jazz, we're gonna mix it up. Which I'm more excited about the sort of new structure. Every time we talk about it, I'm more geared up for it. But anyway, we are live. We're on the 3 channels at the moment. Please chuck your comments in. Let us know who's here. We want to know. We always want to know. And that's about it, really. That's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to say we're switching it up. That's about it. You are mute to
have to say about that.
That's all I have to say.
Listen, I'm not on mute now. I think just to add to that, no one has like a perfect style or strategy. It's all about learning, isn't it? And that's what we do. We just go, let's just do it and figure it out. And sometimes I do think that is a good thing to do. It's always best to try than just to hold back for the perfect, thing. And although this has been fantastic, I'm not putting the podcast down. It's been very, very good. But I would just advise anyone, if you're thinking about doing it, just do it and then learn off the data.
Yeah, 100%. So we're seeing the data on the sense that more people are sort of listening and watching as the week goes by, which sort of shows a trend for podcasting anyway. And that's what happened with that. And we're going to be switching up the time of when we go live as well. It's more than likely going to be an evening on yet to be discussed day. I think we're doing Monday next week.
I've asked for Monday if possible, please.
Yeah. So we think we're going to be doing it Monday night next week. It'll be live on YouTube, but then that'll get re-edited and put out as a audio podcast. and we'll try and push that, obviously. But we're feeling like we're actually quite time constraint, isn't it? Trying to fit this in the day, and not just for us logistically, but what we felt like is that sometimes we're like trying to like get this wrapped up, because obviously it's the middle of the day for everyone watching. We don't want it to lag on and all things like that. But we're still considering the live element in the day, particularly through LinkedIn, on what we can do there. And so if anyone's got any ideas, we've got some ideas in terms of sort of more like shorter, sort of like shows for our industry, I guess, a shorter live show for our industry, you know, which would be like media or social media or marketing more broadly. But yeah, I'd like to, because there's no one's really using, and the reason we went for live on LinkedIn was no one's really using LinkedIn Live, are they? And this, I see occasionally like people just pop up.
No one can get it. That's why.
It took us so long to get it, didn't it?
Yeah, it took us ages to get it, and yeah, I think obviously if they give it to everyone, then I don't know. Is that a problem? I don't know.
I don't see why it is a problem, really. Like, what's the point in having a product on a social media platform, and then only certain people can use it? Like, I get the rollout. Fine, but like they've been rolling it out for as long as LinkedIn's been bloody going.
Yeah, only the really important people get it, don't they, Lynn?
Yeah, I do want to steer us slightly left to some of the comments that Adam made, because one of the reasons that we've got LinkedIn Live is because of the terms is that we're not allowed to talk about LinkedIn Live on LinkedIn Live. So,
is it really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I do want to talk about like. It's a great product. We love it. But I do want to talk about like the testing and fail. I do want to talk about like the testing and failing, because we're not just kind of changing the podcast. We're changing like the daily bowl. We're changing, you know, we've been going 171 days. We've done a daily vlog for, and now it's stopped from today.
Fair play, Jamie, you know, doing that, because I think you got given that task 3 days before we shut the office. It's like your whole world fell apart, didn't it? We were like, right, we proper geared up for it for about a month, put the structure in, put the strategy in, employed more people, and then 3 days in, we were like, sorry, Jamie, but we're all going home. But you still got to do the daily vlog, and you were like, yeah, with no real knowledge of how it's going to work at all. Like, because who could have known that?
I think we'd pre-promoted it by then as well, so it was almost like, well, we've got to do it.
We can't back out now.
We've done like 3 episodes.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was a tough one, but yeah, full credit to the team for pushing through that. I think we've probably had, out of the, how many days, Jamie?
171.
171. I think we've had more in lockdown than out.
Oh yeah,
100%.
Definitely.
So yeah, lockdown daily vlog, not bad.
Yeah.
So Lee, do you want to talk us through a bit about like why we're changing and what we're changing to?
There's loads of reasons really, but I think the premise of why we went daily was we really wanted to show people what we did. We still felt like Electric House was well, it still was, wasn't it? The Electric House as a brand and as an entity was new, wasn't it? We created it in October and launched it in October, and we went on the Daily Bolt from Feb, wasn't it? No, from March. Sorry. Yeah. So it was about like making sure people really understood what we did, who we were. You know, get some personalities in across the team and some key figures there. And but then over time, I think LinkedIn's changed definitely in terms of like how it's perceiving video and actually what length of video it wants on there. Our angles changed in terms of where we want to be spending our time in terms of platform specifics, and we know that really like our ambition is to make sure that we've got something that's more that's got more longevity on it with regards to video, and we don't really feel like LinkedIn has got that at the minute. We don't understand their strategy with regard to their video, because it's kind of been all over the place, hasn't it, really?
Video's hard on LinkedIn, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's I guess it's still in its infancy, and any platform that's in its infancy with video wants short video. End of. Like, you only have to look at the history of every platform, and it's everything short when it first starts, because they want short, engaging, lots of content. Yeah, Facebook did the same. YouTube was the same. You know, YouTube first landed, it wasn't like all 15-minute vlogs. Like that's not how it started. Cat videos, yeah, you know, sneezing panda and all that stupid stuff. It was just you being framed on online. Like that's all it was. It was, and actually, when you look at how the platform was built originally, it was exact. That was the purpose of it. It was just short, viral, funny clips. That's how Facebook then adopted its strategy and did short form. TikTok, new, short, engaging. Like it all starts that way. So LinkedIn's no different, is it? I'm not surprised that it's not doing that. I just think at times LinkedIn's shown elements where it was like, oh yeah, we do want some longer form, but then it over time it's really started to throw that out the window.
I remember when I first joined and we was putting the first vlog series 99 Problems on, and we would like easily get like 8,000 views for like a 7 to 8 minute vlog. Yeah. And that just would never happen for any piece of content on LinkedIn anymore. You're just not going to get that. I've got a theory for LinkedIn that their videos, they're like, you know, their training videos, that they've got that platform where you can watch like 40 minutes. I feel like that's probably where they want to go with it. And they'll probably try and make that into the feed a bit better, but who knows? Yeah,
like more like masterclass stuff. Kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Kind of makes sense. What they should really do is, and I don't know if they've got this or not already with their training thing. Then is that that's a paid for service that you can?
Yeah, I think it's part of like premium.
But even so, what they should do really is offer publishers and businesses the opportunity to store, you know, like Masterclass does already. You know, that the brand Masterclass, and there's a few other ones on there where you could actually get much longer form, high value content built into the platform behind a payment gateway. Great for brands. You could even use it for internal training, but it's great for brands doing external stuff. There's so many things through LinkedIn that I see of like people holding masterclasses and webinars and events. Like, just monetize that. That's what everyone's doing on it already. It's just that they just do it through the feed to get signups. Why don't they just build like partner with Eventbrite and then put a payment gateway in it with Stripe and just get on with it? Like, do something with video, because it's like the minute none of it makes sense, does it? So that's partly the reason that the video is not working as well on LinkedIn. And again, that's for us at the minute. You know, longer form anyway. Short form does. Short form's great. So we're switching out the strategy there where we create much longer form content. And I think the other part was that it's the personal part, wasn't it? That we're kind of like, we want to make sure that we've got that personal story with me and Ad. We think that actually, and actually, you look at the data, the content that does the best is the stuff that's a bit more. I don't even know if this is a word, like voyeuristic. Is that a word? Like, you know, built on voyeurism. I don't know. And voyeurism is probably not the right word either. But you get my point. It's like sort of behind the scenes, not only from a work perspective, the content that's more personal does better, and we want to try and sort of drive that forward. And the switch with the podcast is, one, to get more content, but two, again, to get deeper into the personal side of things, because during this show, there's only a certain period of time that we've got, and we're trying to engage with the community, engage with, you know, anyone who's watching and all that type of stuff. And that's why we feel like this is probably a separate show, and then the podcast is probably a separate show as well, which I'm kind of more excited to split them off and do it that way. Yeah.
Adam Barrie, talk to us about like test and fail, because it seems to be like a mantra that a lot of people start to use now, especially on social. You've like worked with the social guys like from the beginning, and like you and Lee like grew the page. Has there been any like moments for you where like the test and fail has really like stood up and you used it a lot?
Yeah, I just think it goes back to when we started the business. And what you've got to remember is we started a business that really we didn't know anything about. So there's a lot of test and failing when you don't know about you know your subject. Recruitment, the only thing we knew is the construction industry, so we knew the target market.
Well, you did.
I did. One half of us did, but we didn't really have an idea about recruitment. None of us worked in recruitment. None of us had built an app before. I mean, we'd attempted it, but I think we're coming on to that later. So none of us had built an app before. None of us had like ran a business of this kind before. We'd had plenty of little like ideas and startups that had failed. So when we were just, let's be honest, we were just winging it, and we were just going from day to day, and we were just trying to find out how we were going to make this work. And, you know, we've gone from a recruitment app to e-commerce, and now we're an agency now. So we're not even what we started out to be. So when that happens, is you're constantly testing and failing. You're constantly trying to find your way through. And I think we've finally found where it is we are. And we're still going to obviously add to this, but I'm a massive fan of just telling people, look, if you've got an idea, put something together and let's just go with it and let's see what happens. As long as you're not making the same mistakes over and over again. I love it when people come to me with an idea. I'm like, let's try it. Let's see if it works. So, look at our Talking Trade show, and an amazing show that we put out. And actually, I thought that wasn't going to work. So Talking Trade, for those that don't know, it's a really serious construction chat show on the Tools Facebook page. And when we first decided to do it, it was because we wanted to offer a level of support for the construction industry when the first lockdown hit. And that's what the show was about, to talk about what the problems are and can we help people out. And I thought, we've never done content like that on the Tools. On the Tools is known for being funny, silly videos, hard hat challenges, apprentice pranks, all that sort of stuff. So when that idea came about, I was like, I don't think this is going to work, but let's just try it. And then actually, after a few episodes, we started getting some really big numbers, bigger numbers than on our game show lives, where we're giving away thousands of pounds worth of prizes. So that's a really good example of just like trying things that potentially, might not work.
And now we've got Nick Knowles coming on.
Exactly, Jamie. Nick Knowles is on today in 15 minutes, I think. Nick Knowles is on. Don't leave, though, because we want you to watch it.
You can watch it back.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? That it's now getting more, I mean, the views that thing gets is insane for a live show. Mega. Some of them are getting like 500,000 views. Yeah. Any live show, 500,000 views on a live show. Incredible. And I think it just shows again like the basis of that community, how it grown originally and then the power it's got still now, like 6 years on. And when it's really, really focused on that niche, that like niche element, it still can like bang out proper numbers. Anyway, I've got like a real mad echo on my.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Is anyone listening to it, Jamie, that can potentially help us out if that is the case?
Bex, what is going on? Any problems your side?
But yeah, I think the lives and the test and fail thing is bang on. I don't think you. The reality is none of us know anything with social. You know what you know up until right now. Yeah. And then a minute later, something's changed. Like that's the reality of it. So when people do come with ideas and stuff, it's got to be the way that you try and grow the business really. And our plans next year are pretty much the whole business plan is built around testing stuff through Q1 and bits of Q2 to then roll out what happens next. Because I think it's the only way we can do it. Anyone who in the publishing game, particularly through social media, that is like, oh yeah, we know it all. It's full of shit. Like,
yeah, I think actually,
though, isn't it?
Yeah, just like you say there, the landscape of social, because all the social platforms are bringing in new algorithms constantly, new updates, new features. You have no choice but to test them because every month there's something new coming out on a platform. So you kind of get into that mode of constantly going, okay, that's out. Reels has just been released. Let's start testing on Reels. Or this update's been released. Let's start testing on that. So it's kind of built into you, isn't it, on social that you have to do a lot of testing. Yeah,
definitely. What else is going on?
What's going on in the world of Adam Barrie?
Yeah.
You know what? I feel like I sound like a broken record at the minute because I'm just like always like, yeah, just busy, loads of meetings. Yeah, I'm really feeling the strain at the minute. But I'm not going to lie and say I'm fantastic because I'm just not. It's just I think everyone's feeling this second lockdown's like, I'm just fuck off, like, you know what I mean? It's really annoying me. We just got used to being back in the office. Now we're not in there. And yeah, the weather's not great. It's cold. I don't know where my slippers are. I'm just having a bad day today. Tomorrow though, I've got a really good day tomorrow. There's only 3 meetings in my calendar tomorrow. So
you want to try and keep it that way?
Yeah, well, I've booked big blocks out to actually work on stuff and clear through my emails and respond to some people that are, probably sitting there thinking, he's so ignorant, that guy is. I emailed him like a week ago. He's not responded.
I I was nearly late for this podcast, right? So what we went to do is we do this through StreamYard, and what we agree is that we have to be there 15 minutes early so we can go through a little bit of a run through and make sure test everything. And I turned up at 3 minutes to, because I just about grabbed a shower, which is not how I usually start my day. Today I've had a load of meetings and then gone and showered because this morning I woke up, I fell back to sleep again because I got up with the dog at 5 o'clock and then I went back to bed at 7:30 and just KO'd. And I had a nightmare with the dog yesterday. Right, I took the dog had his second lot of jabs, yeah, and which are meant to be a bit a bit docile afterwards and stuff. But he's really struggling to sleep at the minute. So I was reading loads of stuff about and Kelly was as well, about how we can try and get him to sleep better. And we're part of the great place to be when you're trying to find stuff out about anything, isn't it? Into Facebook groups. So I mean these Cavapoo groups, and one of them there was someone who put exactly the same thing, really similar age to Ziggy, really struggling to sleep. They're like, oh, we've moved ours to 3 meals a day, and just got them on a better routine of feeding. So the last meal was 5:30, 6 o'clock. So once I took him to the vets in the morning and he had his jab, and when they weighed him, he's massive. He's put on 700 grams, gone from 2.85 to 3.5. I was like, shit, I'm not feeding him enough food. He's way below his quota. I should have been up in it. And then I read that and I was like, right, I'm going to move him to 3 meals then. So I'm going to give him quite a big meal now because he needs to up it anyway. And he's going to 3 meals. Loaded him in, and about 2 hours later, he's crying because his belly's too. Every time I tried to pick him up, he was going. I was like, shit. His leptos kicked in. This is a nightmare. So then I started reading about it, and I was reading about anaphylactic shocks in dogs and that, and horrible. And I was like, oh no, I'm gonna kill the dog. I've killed him. So took him back to the vets again, and they were like, nah, you've just fed him too much food. His stomach is Geezer needs a massive shit. And asleep, you've done too much too soon. You've moved him to 3 meals, and you've upped him to his 10%. So I don't know.
I know how that feels.
What, being fed too much?
I've been there. Yeah, you just you've put too much on your plate, and you're like, I'm going to finish this.
Yeah.
I'm going to finish it, and then you have a pudding as well, and you just think, what have I done?
Yeah. I did it yesterday lunchtime. I ordered a Greg's in from Just Eat because I was running late and everything, and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna get Greg's, and I don't know what I was thinking. You know what I had? I ordered a big baguette, then I had a steak bake, a slice of pizza, and a sausage roll. And as I was getting through the last of the baguette, I was like, what am I doing? This is I don't need to do this. So I should have done this. So I nearly broke the dog last night. So he was feeling all sorry for himself anyway because he'd had his jab, and then I overfed him, so he didn't sleep. Is my point. So I got up. I put him to bed at 12:30 in the end. Then I got up at 5, and then I was just KO'd this morning. So and that's kind of how I feel at the minute. I feel like we've had a baby. It's the only way I can describe it, because and I knew it was going to be hard, in terms of having the dog. But he went through his thing of sleeping sound, and he's just not sleeping. And because Kel is pregnant as well. So we're having a baby next year, April time. I'm trying to let her sleep in a lot as well, and she's going to bed early because she's just shattered. So I feel like I'm like this every morning.
I thought you was mad as well when you said you was getting a dog. I was like, man, you both are so busy, both run a business, getting a dog. Yeah. And at that point, I didn't know Kelly was pregnant either. And then when the baby came along, I was like, you guys are mad.
Neither did we, though.
Bring it on.
You know what? We just moved house as well. So we moved house, got a dog, and then now having a baby. But the problem was that I've committed to the dog with Ava. So when you tell a 9-year-old they're getting a dog, you can't go back on it when you get other news. So we were kind of like, well, we're in for it now. It doesn't matter. We've just got to deal with it. And we've got to move out in January because the house needs rewind. We moved into this house and it needs gutting completely. So we've got. I don't know what we're doing. Next year is going to be an absolute it's going to be a nightmare. But I'll be glad to see the end of this year. I can't wait to get it wrapped up and done. There's a lot of budget stuff going on at the minute. I feel the thing is, it couldn't be sort of happening at the dog thing. Couldn't be happening at a worse time when you think about it, because of just everything we've got going on with work is so like frantic at the minute, isn't it? Just trying to get sign off on everything for next year and do all that. So it does feel like I kind of don't know where I'm at with anything at the minute. And I don't just mean at work. I just mean with everything. I wake up and I'm like, what am I doing today? Like both from a personal perspective and a work life. But you know, it'll get easier, won't it?
It will. I think next year, touch wood, has got to be better than this year. Surely it's got to be. I don't want to jinx it, but yeah, it's not the memes where it's like 2021. There's like an alien coming out of a spaceship.
Yeah.
But I think you're right, Lee. It's been a tough year for everyone, hasn't it? I think everyone's, and you know what? It's fine to feel a bit shit. Like that's, you know, like you're talking about, like you ate loads of food, and that's all right. Like, don't put pressure on yourself this time of year, especially the year we've had.
I'm going to do it again today, I think.
Yeah, I've had like 3 or 4 weeks of eating like badly, like really badly, and because I'm usually quite good with my food, it's just given me a really bad stomach and like bloat. So yesterday was the first day in about 4 weeks where I had actually like a good diet, and I'm going to do the same today, and I'm actually feeling a little bit better. But I just thought to myself, why am I beating myself up? It's like we've had a real tough year. If you want to order a takeaway, don't like sit there feeling guilty, almost like crying because you've got a bit of a belly and some little man boobs.
I had all that food yesterday, and last night I had some food, and I even had last night for some reason I was working really late trying to do the budget, and I was like, because I've been texting you, Adam, we were going on a run. I treated myself to a little sachet of Skittles, and I was like, I'm going to do that because I'm going for a run. And then we didn't go. And I genuinely, when you texted me this morning and said I'm going tonight, the first thing I thought about was that bag of Skittles. I was like, oh, Lee, that bag of Skittles.
This doesn't help, right? I've just had a notification on my phone from Just Eat. And it says, baking news, enjoy £3 off Greggs. We've just been talking about Greggs.
Do you think that's
how naughty is that? There's something in that.
I haven't got the Just Eat app.
Yeah. Do you think because like there's someone came out, was like, oh, it's not real, like it's just a coincidence, it's just like human psychology. No,
Instagram definitely does it. Me and Kelly have tested it a few times. I'm telling you now. So I remember when we lived at Albert Road, we were talking about it, and I said, let's do a test now. So we left the phone and left Instagram open in the background of the phone, and we started talking about kids' birthdays parties because we was like pick a subject that isn't happening at the minute and that we don't talk about it. And sure enough, 40 minutes later, bosh. Adverts in between on kids' birthday parties. I'm telling you now, it definitely happens. But isn't it funny, right? That we're talking about like, oh, you know, next year's going to be better, and like this, you know, it's hard. So this time last year, all three of us were in Paris.
Yeah,
like, running around the streets of Paris, having an absolute, trying to get Jamie on the boat.
That was brilliant, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I think we'll talk about Paris in a little bit more depth in a second, but I was saying this to you, Lee, in the week. I think it was you. The reason I think this year's been so hard is because you're not getting the perks that you usually would get with work. So if you just think about, like, you know, you can go for a drink with your colleagues after work and it makes it a little bit better. I'll finish that day. Okay, great. You can go out. You might get invited to an event and there's drinks there, or there's meals and there's awards nights. And, you know, we were meant to go to Cannes to the festival. And I know it's a little bit pretentious, but it's something you really look forward to. And like Facebook event at Paris last year, we would have done the same this year, hopefully. And we've not had any of the perks. It's just been all the crap and no perks. I think that's why so many people are like, this is tough. It's really tough at the minute. Paris was great, wasn't it?
Oh, it was ledge. Like we had loads in that space for like 2 days, and then we missed the flight, didn't we, on the way back?
Yeah.
That was the biggest problem with 2019, missing the flight back from France.
Yeah.
It was funny because go on.
No, go on.
I was going to say it was funny when we did sneak Jamie on that boat, because it was like a real posh boat party, parked right on the river, and Jamie wasn't invited, and we're just like, Jamie, just go up and just pretend you're with us, and almost like, well, I should be there. We're all there together, and he did, and they were like, no, your name's not there, and he was like, Well, it should be. We're here together. I've not come to France on my own, like, and they just let us in, didn't they? It was brilliant.
Yeah, it was a good crack, that wasn't it? And then there was where the actual event was incredible, weren't it? They'd hired out this building, and then like there was a big like mad rooftop bit off the back of it. You could just see the whole of Paris. Like it was an incredible view, like real good. And then there was so on all these Facebook events, right? They give out what they tend to do when you go to them. They give out like a new product. So like I went to that's last year. Last year was incredible. I went to F8 in San Fran, and that was amazing. Like, and Zuckerberg came out, and it was funny because I went on my own. So me and Cal took like a holiday to do it, but I could only get one ticket to get in there. And I went in as the opening keynote, and like because I knew Zuckerberg was going to be coming on, so I thought I definitely want to go and see that. Anyway, there's like people, you know, like when a festival opens and people run through the things to get to the front of a set. It was like that, people queuing up, and then when the doors opened, it was this huge conference space, like an NEC type thing. It's like people like legging it to the trying to get seats at the front of that. You know, being British, I was just like, oh, hello, and it's like creeped through. Anyway, I got a lot of seat, like maybe like halfway into this massive auditorium, and I sat down, and there was probably like. I couldn't sort of, from people talking, there was like groups of people. There was no like sort of like British people around me. It was all like Americans and like lots of like international and stuff. And when Zuckerberg came out, he said, I'm going to give everyone who comes today is getting a free Oculus. And like everyone around me lost their shit, like true like keynote. You know, remember that Microsoft keynote where they were all like dancing and go, yeah, you know, like that whole thing with Bill Gates and that. And it was like that. Everyone was going, yeah, stand up, fucking yeah. And I was like going, ooh. And what I did, I like got my phone out and text Adam, like, I've got a free Oculus. I did not do anything. It's like
Funnily enough, I've got that.
You have, yeah, you've got it.
Got his VR set.
Yeah,
I always get everything up you, don't I?
Yeah, the typical difference between like Americans and Brits, like in terms of how we react, I think it was hilarious. But and then on the Paris one, they did the same, didn't they? They gave out what was it? They gave out.
They gave out a Facebook portal. Yeah,
the portals, and then we tried to get Jamie. We were all a bit pissed, really, weren't we? On the night, we was trying to get Jamie on, and we sent him up to queue up and put his name down, and they never contacted him again.
It was such a good trip, but the amount of times that I was just absolutely shitting myself, like just getting into the building with a security guard without you guys, then going up when we were for that thing. It was a great trip, but I was so scared. It was brilliant.
You did have to do that a lot, didn't you? Like trying to like sneak into places. It was like get Jamie in was the main thing. The main theme of the trip. Do you remember when you were filming Adam in the reception at that hotel?
I'm so glad you brought that up.
No, this is all planned to shame me. So I'm not happy about this at all, guys. Proper stitching me up now, aren't you?
This is a belt. Have you got it?
We've got it. Of course, we've got it.
Hold on. Let me just say this for those of you that are watching. I had a skinhead and a really bad moustache.
Oh yeah.
I was doing Movember, but I can't really grow facial hair. So yeah, I look very, very strange. But that's
looking like Charles Bronson, weren't you?
I was. Yeah, that's not the worst thing about what you're going to see now.
It's even better that it's a dodgy clip.
Yeah, Bex, can you bring up the clip, please?
And that jacket.
Okay, that is absolutely. So for those watching, yeah, that was me having a little bit of flatulence there in a restaurant. But for those on the podcast, Lee, do you want to set that up?
Yeah, we was in a hotel. The bit that can you play that again, Bex, a minute?
No.
It's jacket. He lifts his leg like a dog. Like an actual animal, just lifts his leg up in public. We're in a foyer of what is like quite a nice hotel, in the bar area on some nice couches and that. He just does that. This is the thing, right? You can take the boy out of Tamworth, Can't take the time without the boy, can you? But it was a good old trip that was. I can't wait until next year where we can start doing more stuff like that again. It might not be next year. They're really like actual big events. Probably going to be the year afterwards, isn't it? Realistically.
Who knows?
Maybe towards the end of next year. Oh, go on.
So Craddock's kicking off in the comments, Lee. It's tell Lee that he can go for a run tonight with Lee, with Adam.
Yeah. I will actually. What time are you going at?
Be after our last call. So our last call's at 6:30 today. So we can meet up at 7.
Yeah, I'm up for that.
We can do that. Yeah,
I'm up for that.
Okay.
Tell me what again.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, I'm doing. I'm trying to run every day. I've got to do 125 kilometers by the end of the month. So it worked out because I had to self-isolate till about the 6th or the 7th. I had to do 5k a day to achieve that, and I've had one day off, Saturday. So I've run every day since Friday.
Wow. I ran on Monday. So
yeah, you know what? It is hard when you've not done it for a while.
I felt like I was going to die. Did you see me? I thought I was going to die.
I was trying to run, make sure that when we was running round, was going past one of those defibrillators every time. So just in case you had a heart attack, I could just bring you back.
Yeah, you felt like that.
No, it's funny how quick you lose your fitness. You know,
who's better at running? Because I've been on a run with you, Adam. Me or Lee?
Lee ran for longer. You give up after about like 2 kilometers. I remember he was like, "Can we walk now?" But Lee got pretty much all the way in before that happened.
There you go. Yeah, it was hard work. The problem is, right, whenever I think about running, it's just I don't like it. It's so boring, and that's why it's much better when you do it with someone else, because at least you can have a chat while you're doing it. But I much prefer to play like squash or football or do something where it's competitive than I do like running, because I don't know, it's just so easy to give up in my opinion. Whereas in like squash, I never get, because I'm always like, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what the mentality is behind that, but
my tips are if I'm running with someone, great, because I get to spend time with someone and have a chat and stuff. So it goes really quick. But if I'm on my own, I don't really listen to music that often. I try and like podcast or an audio book or something like that, because I just think like I'm educating myself and I'm getting fit at the same time. So it's a little bit of me time. And what I do sometimes when I do a workout in the house, if I do like a little HIIT session or I'll be doing weights, I'll look for something to watch in the morning. So I'll be like, when do you ever get up at 6 and watch TV? Like, you just don't do it, do you? So I'll get up at 6 and I'll go like, I'm going to start watching a bit of Star Wars now. And I'll just put a film on while I'm doing my weights. I'll be like, this is great. I'm just watching a film. So it's like 2 birds, 1 stone. That's what I always do.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's a good strategy, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
100%.
I'm going to start using my exercise chasing the dog around in the morning when he won't go to sleep. I reckon I could do 100 laps of the house. Well, I don't know what that would be, but probably not even 1k. It's not a very big house, so.
They do say the dogs are like their owners with like everything, don't they? And this week you've both ate too much.
Yeah. Maybe I overfed the dog and I overfed myself. I don't know what was happening yesterday. It was a feeding frenzy. I felt terrible last night though when I realised that was the crack. Cal came back from the vets with the dog because I had Ava, so I couldn't go as well. And she came back and was like, "Yeah, we've just that meal that you gave him was just overfed him," and I was like, "Oh shit, that was a bad strategy." I think we should. I think we should start wrapping up, guys, and calling it a day on episode 7. We like to end on a drunken brainwave there. I think that Jamie was very keen for Adam to tell the story of one idea that we had, which was live music masters.
Live music masters. So live music masters. This was an idea for an app that we had before on the tools, wasn't it?
Yeah. Before on the tools.
Lee used to do a bit of gigging back in the day. He was
oh yeah, baby.
Yeah. He likes to do a bit of a sing and plays guitar. There you go. We should get him back one day. So he was in that scene and he'd been gigging and stuff like that. And came up with the idea of doing an app. I mean, you could probably explain the the sort of like structure of the app better. But I've got some really good stories to tell. One really good story. So you tell the structure of it.
The structure of it was there's one out there now called Encore. I met the guy who did it. I met him at the Picture Palace thing we did. It's exactly that. It's for, you know, either aspiring musicians who want to do it professionally or people who want to professionally gig, you know, who want to actually make a living from doing it. And there's just so many like open mic nights and all stuff, places people can play, but you find out about them through word of mouth or on like real ropey pub websites and shit like that. It's just not, or mainly through Facebook and stuff like that. So it was never like a centralized thing. And I was like, there's got to be a way where we can. I remember it had that animation video built out. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And it was like, you know, very much like the musician as the consumer, and then the pubs as the retailer, you know, and it would allow the pub to put on a night and then musicians to be able to apply, they'd be able to get paid, you know, all that. Anyway, that was the idea of it. And then
yeah, so
we didn't do it.
I've got a funny story. So actually, me and Lee and Mark were actually involved in that one, and it's the reason why when we came out with the on the tools idea is like, let's bring Mark back in, because we'd all kind of worked together on this business plan and this idea for this app. So at the point of getting the business plan done and everything, we went to see some developers down in London because we wanted to speak to developers and get some costings and stuff like that. And Lee wore a 3-piece suit to this meeting, right? It was hilarious. And he had a top hat and a cane and a monocle.
Didn't.
He did.
No, I didn't.
He
no,
did.
I didn't.
I wish I had a photo, but he definitely did have a monocle. And anyway, we've got to this. When I tell this story, I always add something in, like he was, you know, he had a monocle or he had a cane or he had a top hat. But we got to this agency, and because we didn't know agency world then, we've gone in there and everyone's like just chilled, like t-shirts and like check shirts and just all chilled, and we're all stood there in our suits. It was hilarious. Oh my god!
The funny thing was, we all went down there dressed like that. I don't know what we were even considering really. We had to dress up and because we were going to London, you know, and we were going to meet an agency, and this guy came out in. He didn't have shorts on, did he? I don't think, but he was like cash as anything. He just had a t-shirt and some jeans on, I think.
Yeah.
And
Lee just removed his monocle like this.
Yeah, sorry, what did you say? But what was interesting, if I think back now as well, I'd love to be able to like be a fly on the wall in that meeting and just see his face, because I bet he just thought, what are you all doing? Like, what? Because especially what was hilarious about it was that as soon as he said 10 grand budget, we were like, oh right,
it's a bit much, yeah. And pretty much
about that, and we got back in the car and drove back up. We got lost, didn't we, on the way back? I think
we did get lost, and we had our tails between our legs, and we were just sort of scratching around thinking, that's that gone then. But what was we thinking? Thinking we could launch a nationwide app with less than 10 grand.
Yeah,
but marketing didn't even come into it then, though, did it? Really?
Nothing,
you know what we'd have done? We'd have built a Facebook page.
Yeah,
that's what we
would have done. We would have done, and yeah, I think that it makes my. I don't cringe about many things, but that makes my bumhole sweet. Like I'm like, oh, what were we thinking? Like,
yeah,
I genuinely did wear a 3-piece suit. Like,
it is.
Like I looked like I was going to a wedding for this meeting. Like, what the hell?
Oh, that was funny.
I love how,
go on, Jamie.
You've had some like really good like app ideas. Like there's quite a few apps, even like, you know, on the tools knocking about, and then we were going for investment for app initially, and there's loads of app ideas.
Yeah, that's the go-to, really, isn't it? People go, I think you think of a problem, you try and solve it, and it ends out in a web app or a mobile app, or, you know, I think that's the space we're in, isn't it? We're always very much about tech and like solutions, product solutions, rather than like, let's set up a business that's about, I don't know, people or you know, products necessarily. I think we think like more like that now. But definitely early days, I was always trying to think of the next app or solution that would solve the problem that we thought up next. I think we were half the time creating problems, which it's dangerous, you know, where you go, this is a problem, whereas actually it might be a problem for you, but or like a handful of people, but it's not. Yeah, and I think that's a key part of it, isn't it? It's like you're going to like build an idea around it. Make sure that you're actually solving a problem that people want solving, and that enough people want solving actually.
And back then as well, you know, we could have started a number of businesses, but I guess we were looking for like, you know, that next Uber, or was looking for that like that golden ticket, but with no money. You know, we started this business with how much?
It's like $2,000, $3,000.
Yeah.
I think as well, I was desperate to start a business. If you think back now, if I look back at it and go, the amount of ideas and schemes and things I was constantly trying to get out of the job I was in. I wanted to start a business. Like that was what I wanted to do, you know, and so I guess if you want to do that enough, you end up you throw enough shit at the wall for one of them to stick, and then you go, okay, maybe this can. And even then, most of them fail. Most businesses fail, don't they? Like that's the reality. Like most of them fail after the first year to 2 years. So you know, it's good to still be in the game. That's what I say. Yeah. Thanks very much for watching and listening. We are going to wrap it up there on the 45-minute mark. We will be back next week, but it will be a different format. We'll be live on YouTube on Monday evening. We'll chuck out some promo of what time, because I don't think that's been sorted yet. We're taking the approach that we've always done, is we're going to do it. There's some details still yet to be sorted, but we'll let you know. Because we just want to keep going, and we want to, you know, make sure we start in the right format. We'll be live on YouTube, and then it will be pushed out as an audio podcast on a Thursday. Is that right, Jamie?
Yep. Put it out on a Thursday. Put it out any day we want.
Any day we want. But yeah, more details follow on that. We'll actually be in the office. We'll be in the boardroom after hours. We've got to wipe it down as we enter and wipe it down as we leave, but we're allowed in there. We've had it sanctioned today that we're allowed back. So only for that, only when no one else is there. So that's where the podcast will be on Monday night. If you want to join us live on YouTube, please subscribe to the Lee and Adam channel. We've geared up for lots more content. The Bolt will go live next Tuesday. Jamie, is that correct?
Correct.
The first episode of the new format of the Bolt will go live. You will get a lot more behind the scenes from me and Adam, our lives running the business, and actually as well. Sorry, I've just seen a message come through from Kelly where she said, "Does that mean you're not home on Monday night?" This is my issue. I get into a lot of trouble organising things and then not communicating with Kelly. It does mean that. Yeah, it does mean that. I don't like being called out live on personal aspects of logistics within the household. But just shut up and get on with it. No, sorry, babe. I'll talk to you about it later. Yes, the first format of the Bolt will go on Tuesday. Please follow and subscribe on the YouTube channel. Obviously, we're still putting out content on every channel. Nothing's going to change there, but you will see it in different formats. But mainly video will be focused across other platforms, and we'll still be heavily focused on LinkedIn through other things. Thanks very much for watching and joining us on a Thursday at midday. But please join us on a Monday evening next week, and we will see you soon.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Goodbye. Love you all.
Bye.